completed a world first in a daring mission inside the crater of Mount Erebus in Antarctica.
They've successfully extracted one of the rarest and oldest living organisms on Earth.
There are 7 continents on the Earth, and each one has its own distinct feel in one form or another. The catch is that 6 of them are those that have millions upon millions of people on them, and one of them doesn't. That one would be Antarctica, a frozen land that has some animals living on it and no true permanent humans. Despite all that, we constantly go to Antarctica to learn more about it, including what all lives there, what's under its snow and ice, and what it might have been like in ancient times.
An in-depth look at a thrilling recent discovery, as Ernest Shackleton's long-lost ship Endurance is finally found, more than a century after it was trapped in polar ice and sank into the frigid waters of the Antarctic.
That's led to many unique findings over the years, which includes some that have made us wonder if we truly know anything about Antarctica itself, and what else it may have to reveal if we dig far enough down. With that in mind, here now are 20 creepy discoveries in Antarctica that terrified the whole world. Number 20. The Mysterious Pyramid. As noted in the intro, there have been many findings in Antarctica that have made people wonder exactly what's going on with it and what it was like in ancient times. One thing that's never been fully proven is that people lived on the continent before it froze over. However, you may have heard of various conspiracy theories and findings about things like pyramids being there, which is full-on proven that someone was there before. Fast forward to 2024, and those theories pop up once again when another pyramid was allegedly discovered on the continent, and many people wondered what it was doing there. The image came from Google Earth, and when you look at everything from the sky, you have to admit that it does kind of look like a pyramid.
Huge Great Pyramids in Antarctica. They jut out of the ice and snow.
However, when people in the scientific community had a look at it, they didn't see anything noteworthy. As in, it's not a pyramid at all, it's actually a mountain. In fact, the location...
They lie about everything.
Today is Tuesday, 1820, and I finally returned from my journey on Aten in the second ring of Atlas. It had been a long and painful traveling across the continent, hoping to make my fortune. I heard the tale of Aten's riches from the many fishmongers I had to break bread with at the Serpent's Gate. Cold that place is, but Aten is different from the Serpent Gate. Aten is huge and diverse, filled with all sorts of wildlife. Known as the Grand Orchestra, every living and unliving thing creates constant noise that rattles my brain. But I'm here for a coin, not a symphony. I started my venture from the port cities of Minamiguchi and sailed dangerously close to the islands of Thule to scare my crew off the megafauna. From there I sailed to Port Romanov and then circled the continent. I collected fine metalwork from the dwarves craftsmen now employed by British, Japanese and Russian masters. Indeed, the dwarves are a hardy bunch, unlike their relatives. They also knew how to drink, but I won't disrespect the gnomes. With little effort they were able to make much needed repairs as well as upgrades to my ship, which was needed from marching bands of goblin pirates attacking us. Good thing we took refuge in a hobgoblin stronghold. Indeed, they were far more hospitable than the leprechauns, who wanted to claw my eyes out after I killed their beloved pet rat. How was I supposed to know that was a family member? Once we got a good route inland, we made our way to the Brownie Orc Empire of Eoekekaa. I looked to trade my metals for some of the fur pelts off the giant flightless birds the brownies ride on. While I was successful in my quest, the profits were not worth it. We used the port of Bretagne to depart back to Earth, only to be hit with a cursed toll after hidden tax that those damn dirty French and Omani merchantmen could conjure up. By the time I was allowed to leave, I could barely pay off all my expenses for the whole journey. Next time I'll blast some leprechauns with cannon fire and take their land for myself.
The world of Atlas is a treacherous one. It's always advised to carry some form of protection, like a club lizard or a Blemmy bodyguard, just like how you'll need protection whenever you surf the web. Fortunately, there's today's sponsor, Private Internet Access, to the rescue.
That was just one story of one sailor who supposedly went beyond the ice wall back in the 1800s. There's tons of them if you just look.
When you look at the solar system, there's 9 planets, right? According to Neil deGrasse Tyson, the alleged rapist. They're all spinning in the same direction. You know the odds of that? 2 to the 9th power, 1 in 512. That's very rare. And by the way, do not during this conversation, do not say it was God's will. Because if you use God, you have to read the Bible. And the Bible does not depict the earth as a spinning ball in a sea of nothing at all. So you can't have it both ways, guys. You can't have a firmament, four corners. God sits up and looks at us like grasshoppers. You can't have that and a spinning ball and nothing. Okay, listen. Just please listen, because it's impossible. All right, next up on the solar system model, it's on a flat plane. Not just is the solar system a flat plane, the entire Milky Way galaxy is a flat plane. Want to talk about flat Earth? Oh, flat earthers. You're saying that after a Big Bang, even with the law of thermodynamics called entropy, which we'll get to in a second, somehow our galaxy ended up being a perfectly flat plane where all the planets spin in the same direction. The odds of that are less than winning the Mega Lotto every single day for thousands of years. Understand that. Now look at the moon. The moon is a perfect circle. The odds that happened after Big Bang and just chaos of atoms and particles and dust and rocks colliding is zero. The odds are literally zero. There's no force. There's no wind. There's no erosion. There's no water. There's no force acting upon that moon that would make it a perfect sphere. Next up, why are the craters all perfect spheres? The way asteroids hit, side angle, we've never witnessed an asteroid, okay? The odds that the spin of the moon is exactly the same speed as it rotates around the Earth, again, are zero. If it was 1/4 of 1 mile per hour different, it would slowly turn. The fact it doesn't, and there is zero physics explanations with the model of gravity as we know it to explain why the moon, why its axis rotation is exactly matching it rotate around us so that we only see one side. Light being shined upon a sphere does not make the luminescence the same all the way across. You can do a test with a tennis ball and a flashlight. It's impossible. It can't happen. It only happens on two-dimensional objects. Seeing as you've only seen one side of the moon because of its miraculous rotation and its perfect circle, and the fact that the luminescence is the same across the whole thing, implies, I'm not stating this, it implies it's a two-dimensional object. A lot more than it's a spinning sphere out of the chaos of the Big Bang. Okay? The size and weight of the moon, according to science, it is impossible for it to be rotating around our Earth. The way the moon was created, according to mainstream science, is that an object the size of Mars hit our Earth and created the moon. That's nonsense. We would have rings like Saturn. Where's all the dust? Where's all the debris? Where's everything? That all just disappeared? That makes no sense at all. Next up, the sun is 400 times bigger and miraculously 400 times farther away than the moon. And like two machine-cut quarters, they line up perfectly to make an eclipse. The odds of that are 1 in trillions times 1 in trillions times 1 in trillions. It's not possible. That the perfect circles in this world, which can't happen on the moon given the existing model, line up perfectly with something 400 times larger from a third factor, which is your fixed position on an Earth, that they claim is spinning 1,000 miles an hour. Okay, the shadow of the eclipse is 70 miles wide. There is no way to make a shadow smaller than the object. Of course, there are people that say umbra, because like goats, they've been trained to say that, but they cannot recreate an umbra on Earth. They only believe it because they've been indoctrinated to believe it since the time of their birth by people who want to remove their connection to God. Okay, next up, evolution. So we have something called the Big Bang, which is the ultimate chaotic event. What banged? Who banged it? Why did it bang? How did everything come from a fixed point? Don't even try and tackle that because it makes zero sense. But here's something that you can easily think of, and it disproves everything about mainstream science. The law of entropy is that matter and energy naturally go from order to chaos. If you break a glass, even after 1 billion years, the broken shards will not reform into the glass because objects have a tendency towards entropy, towards dissolving, towards breaking apart. Whether it's empires or broken glass, the longer you wait, the more the broken shards become sand. They get ground down, they will never go the other direction. So how do we have a human eyeball from a Big Bang? The Big Bang happens and it creates a never-ending waterfall, cascade, domino effect of atoms smashing against each other in an empty darkness for eternity. So given the law of entropy that things go from order to chaos, how on earth do we have the structure of a human eyeball in which we can see light and then recreate the light in our minds as images that represent our physical reality? It contradicts to a point of laughable mockery. Okay, now understand that if anyone says, well, sexual selection, Big Bang, over long periods of time, I used to believe this stuff too. I believed all of it. I loved astronomy. I minored in evolution in college. I loved thinking about how the environment would interact with a human being, increase their odds of procreation or decrease their odds of procreation, and certain genes would pass. Nonsense. You're telling me that that force that created the human eyeball, which is unbelievably complicated, that through a long process of light hitting cells and then becoming rods and cones, if that's from sexual selection, why does our skin burn in the sun? Why do I need an umbrella right now so that my skin doesn't become red and cancerous? Well, Big Bear, it's because you're from the north. Why don't I have hair on my body? Why would I die outside in 30-degree weather without a structure around me? If my people came from Northern Europe, which they did for so long, how come I didn't evolve to not die in the snow and then die in the sun? If sexual selection actually had an impact on us, like they say it did, if we...
He means to say natural selection for anybody who doesn't know that. And as far as evolution goes, they've proven a million times over that through DNA testing that nobody came from a monkey or an evolved caveman. So they know this stuff. They just want to deny the existence of God. That's all.
If we can evolve to have the complexity of a human eyeball out of a big bang, even though that goes against entropy, why on earth have we evolved to not have skin that's resistant to the one constant in our life at all times, which is the sun and then the winter? It doesn't make any sense, right? So what is the point of all of this? Is this supposed to give you despair and fear? No, it's removing it. We were created. That glass that was broken was a glass because someone made it. So someone made us to have eyes to see, ears to hear, a mouth to taste, hands to touch, a woman to love, a child to hold, right? That is love. And so what's the purpose of life? Serving that which gave us all of it, God. And they want you to think that we are on a spinning ball in an infinite black, and every atom that just smashes together randomly eventually became your parents who randomly fucked and are now silently watching NCIS in some long, weird, passive-aggressive game, and you're just here to randomly smash your genitals against someone. No way, guys. That's despair. That's the world where you need medication to get out of bed. That's the world where you can be easily tricked because you have nothing to be grateful for or nothing to live for. When you know that your eyes of your children were created, that means whoever created it loves you. So serve that who loves you, which is your creator. There is no way that moon just got this. The story is an endless serpent distracting you from God's love and making you sad and full of despair. And every time I point out one of these deceptions and people say, oh, I can't be with you on this one, man. It's too much stress. I'm removing the stress. You're made in love. Your soul matters. Your choices matter. God loves you. Why would God give you eyes that can see your wife holding a baby? That came out of chaos? No. Why would God make all these unbelievable nonsense things that everyone tries to explain away? None of the scientists have any cohesion whatsoever. You know, they just changed the time frame of the Big Bang by 1 billion years, and no one batted an eye because they are not walking with God. Have gratitude. When you have gratitude towards your Creator, and it's so simple. Just be thankful every day. Be thankful that this was created, that this isn't random results of genital smashing. And then when you're thankful, when you say, thank you, God, God says, no problem. God is everything, guys. This is created out of love and form. And when you see it, your life has more form and order and beauty and love. You can forgive. You can call out bullshit. You can get mad and not be scared that you're bubbling with rage. The purpose of your life is to have gratitude and purpose and serve God, that which made you. That science didn't give you eyes. Random over 1 billion years didn't give you ears. God did. And that's logic. Do you think logic and math explains how our solar system and galaxy is a straight flat plane? And even though we have the law of entropy, for some reason, the most complicated physical things that we can't imagine just came out of... You're out of your mind. That is the illogic. Logic comes from a word, guys. Logos, logic. It's the same word, the word. God, form, natural law. It's all the same thing. You know what is real and what is not real. And when you know truth will set you free, work will set you free. Labor, truth, love, family, soil. That's what's real. Then you won't fall for these tricks.
Allegedly.
Everything he said is exactly correct. I mean, you sit and think about it. Everything is designed to make you think that you're small and insignificant and you don't matter. But if you actually think about it, everything was made for you. The sun, the moon, the stars, It's used for seasons and timekeeping, and the sun rotates around us and the stars rotate around us. Everything's for us because God loves you.
Flat Earth from 1967. Here you can see a 4-hour time lapse from a satellite of our local sun and moon orbiting the Earth. You can see all the land beyond our ice wall.
Awesome.
Leaked footage from 1969 of our flat Earth from the Apollo 11. You can see land beyond the ice wall. This is proof.
Leaked footage of a cyclone seen from space on our flat Earth from 1972.
I wouldn't go as far as saying space, maybe low Earth orbit on a satellite that is nothing more than a helium balloon keeping up the cameras and sensors and whatever the hell they put on that thing.
These images taken over a 5-hour period were taken from the Apollo 17 spacecraft. NASA still deny this footage.
لماذا
جعلوا الأرض كروية؟ احنا راح نتكلم في حدود معينة، هو حدود العلم. إذا قلنا أن الأرض كروية، في الكرة معروفة حدودها ومعروفة قاراتها وخلاص محدودة. لكن عندما نقول أن الأرض عظيمة ممتدة وحدودنا التي علمنا هي هذه القارات، لكن هل هناك غيرنا؟ نعم، هناك غيرنا في هذه الأرض الذي يسمونه القطب الجنوبي. لا يوجد شيء اسمه قطب جنوبي، بل هو جوانب الأرض. ما بعد الجليد توجد بوابة عظيمة جدا الدول العظمى على علم بها، والبوابة تطل على أرض أخرى هي حضارات أخرى، منها يأتون وللعلم البترول هو النفط الخام، الكرود أويل الموجود في أراضينا هو أنهار عندهم، هو بالنسبة لهم أنهار تجري يدخل في تحت الأرض في بطن الأرض حتى يصل إلى أراضينا. ليس البترول هي بقايا حيوانات أو عظام أو ديناصورات من الخرافات اللي الناس صدقتها، كل بقايا نباتات خلينا. لا، البترول أنهار في أرضهم تجري حتى تدخل في بطن الأرض إلى أرضنا.
The last video with the Saudi guy, if you couldn't understand what he was saying or read the small print underneath the video, he was saying that crude oil comes from beyond the ice wall and it flows over there like rivers flow over here. And a lot of it flows above ground beyond the ice wall, and then it flows underground over here, and that's where crude oil comes from. Well, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. I had about 15 more minutes worth of videos, but the internet keeps going in and out, and it's driving me crazy, so I'll make you another Flat Earth video soon. But thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.